What is up guys, I hope everyone is doing well. A lot of you have noticed that I have ditched SLI in my gaming rig and went back to just having the one card, and a lot of you are curious why and also what card I went for, so I thought I would put a little video together. The card that I went for is the 1080 Ti Gaming X Trio from MSI. So this card is a beast, and I just wanted to put a video together basically showing you guys the card, doing some benchmarks etc, then you will understand why I have opted just to go back to one single card. So let's jump into it. So let's start by taking a look at the card itself. As you can see, it's an absolute monster and is about 325mm in length. Weight is just under 1.5 kilograms and it will take up 2.5 slots, so just keep that in mind. This is due to MSI opting to go for 3 fans this time round and an extra beefy cooler with 6 heat pipes, much the same as the MSI Lightning model. The fans are of course MSI's Torx 2.0, with the middle being 92mm and the two outer 100mm, and these will remain inactive until the card heats past 60 degrees, and even when they do kick in they are very quiet and can hardly be heard in the system at all. I mean, my PC is right next to me and even under full load this is super quiet, so that's definitely awesome. So design wise, it certainly looks like MSI have finally listened to their fans and other YouTubers of course, and finally gave us a card that isn't covered in red and can be put in practically any system. The first thing you will notice when you unbox this card is how beautiful the backplate is. That two-tone brushed metal is just stunning. As you can see, we also have an RGB MSI logo and a light strip, which I will show you more shortly. I would say that this is probably one of the nicest backplates that I have seen on a graphics card in some time. Moving on to the Shroud, and we can see it's constructed from plastic and follows that black and gunmetal theme. And just when you think MSI has ditched all the red forever, you will see those red LEDs in between. Thankfully these can be easily switched off through the software and cannot be seen when the card is installed in the system, but I would just love to see these either just disappear altogether or even just become RGB like the rest of the card. I really don't understand why they had to get that little bit of red in there, but who am I? So in terms of connectivity, nothing has really changed. We have 2 DisplayPort 1.4s, 2 HDMI 2.0 ports and a DVI-D port. As you would guess, we also need 2 8-pin PCIe power connectors to juice this bad boy up, and MSI tells us that it consumes around 250 watts of power. With the card being so large, I was expecting a lot of sag, especially when MSI have included this GPU bracket in the box, but surprising enough it isn't too terrible at all, so I didn't even bother utilising the bracket. I mean, there is a little bit of sag, but nothing that I would be worried about. So let's jump in and have a quick look at the RGB. As always, you can jump into MSI's Mystic Light software and choose from loads of effects and colours to allow you to theme the card as you wish. It's super easy to use, and honestly the customization of the zones is endless, so you should find something to suit your needs and your build without any trouble at all. Moving on to overclocking, the card did pretty well, managing to get a +85 on the core and a +170 on the memory, giving us a core clock of 2050 MHz and a memory clock of 1417. And even more impressive is the temperatures. They stayed well below 70, hitting only 68 degrees max while under full load running stress tests. Okay, so now that we have taken a look at the card, the design and all that stuff, let's jump in and see how it actually performs, as that really is what's important here. So I will be testing this in my gaming rig, which features an MSI Z270 Titanium with an i7-7700K overclocked to 5GHz and 32GB of Corsair Vengeance RGB RAM clocked at 3000MHz. First of all, hopping into Firestrike. I went with the extreme version and it managed a score of 13,153 with a graphics score of 14,589, so certainly impressive. Moving on to Unison Heaven, I ran this at 2560x1440 on the Ultra preset, Extreme Tessellation and AA at ×4, and we managed a score of 2,969 with an average FPS of 117.9, so again I am happy. Hopping on to Metro Last Light benchmark, I set it to very high with no SSAA, and at 1440p we've seen an average frame rate of 168, while at 4K it dropped to 84 but still very respectable. GTA 5 was up next and everything was cranked up to very high or ultra where possible. MSAA was set to ×4 and FXAA was on, and we seen an average frame rate of 102 at 1440p, and at 4K it dropped down to 58.6. Another favourite of mine for benchmarking is Rise of the Tomb Raider. I ran this with the very high preset with DX12 enabled, and we hit 127 FPS at 1440p and dropped to 71 at 4K. Last up on the benchmark list is PUBG. I know this isn't optimised and probably not ideal for benchmarking, but honestly after doing all that work today I just wanted to play a game, so I even got a chicken dinner out of it, so it was definitely worth it. So in the settings I ran everything at ultra except shadows and foliage, which I kept at low just because it really helps with the game. And at 1440p we sat nicely at 122 FPS, while at 4K we hit 67, so it's definitely playable at 4K here, and honestly it's a pretty enjoyable experience. So that pretty much rounds it up. The 1080 Ti Gaming X Trio is an absolute monster of a card that will handle pretty much everything that you throw at it. Overclock's pretty nice, the temperatures are definitely probably some of the best that I have seen, and honestly at £802 it does seem expensive. I've seen it go for £750 upwards in some other stores, so definitely shop around, but for that price I would say you are definitely getting your money's worth here. If you're an absolute baller like Marcus over at Totally Silenced Tech, you could go ahead and buy 2 of these and run them in SLI and just love life, I guess. If you want to see his system I will leave it linked down below. It's an absolute beast and you guys should definitely check it out. As always guys, if you have any questions about the card or anything else, let me know down below. You know I will always get back to you. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. Stay safe, be kind to each other, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.